winter arc training. Let's get into it. All right, guys, what's going on? Larry here. Weather's getting a little bit colder, so that means the winter arc is coming. And what does that mean by winter arc? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little old, so but I do like the terminology, so we're gonna use it today. Back day today, so we're gonna be doing a lot of rowing, a lot of rowing. So it's important to get like really in tune with what we need. So the first thing that I like to do, since I'm training faster, is about 4 o'clock in the morning, is I like to have a nice big scoop of pre-workout, right? So go ahead, get some double scoop here of raw essential pre-workout, red, white, and bum. I really like this one a lot. We take a scoop of raw EAA, mix it in with a little bit of water. Like to flood the muscle first with a little bit of nutrients and ergogenics. What can you expect today? You can expect a lot of rowing for back. You can expect some paused movements. You can expect some movements that will work the stretch inside of the back as well. When you think of wintertime training, you have to think of a lot of power movements. You have to think, or what are considered power movements. You have to think stuff that will build thickness. You have to think of pretty decent and varied calorie intake, very varied protein and carb intake, and big for the winter. Okay, we're trying to build that extra layer of armor, so when cutting season comes, when contest time comes, you have that extra tissue built and you'll be able to show it off. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna drink this up and get on going up out of here.
Okay, we're starting out with some seated pullovers, and the reason why I like doing this so much is that it allows me to stretch out the rib cage, stretch out the lats, get a good warm up in without having to use my biceps. In my opinion, that's one of the utmost important things that you can do in regards to your back training. Not let your biceps get a lot of work, and also not to let uh, them tire out before you really start to hit the back. Now, a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind too is I'm just using my hands as hooks, right? My back is doing all of the work. It's making sure I pull that weight through a full range of motion to my waist. And this is only a warm up set here, so I'm making sure I get in some good quality reps before I get my rest pause set in, and I'm just really grinding away. So as you can see right here, this is 2 plates on a 25. I'm going to stay right here for a couple of sets and make sure that, again, I'm working through that full range of motion, making sure I'm getting that good contraction in the lats, and I'm just going to keep pulling until I can't pull anymore. One key to this exercise is that you just want to make sure that you kind of lose yourself to it. And in that, what I mean is that you just keep going until you can't anymore. Your likelihood of being injured on a movement like this is very low. So as you can see here, I'm doing my reps as normal. I'm getting as much range of motion as I can in, and I'm just really grinding. And as you can see right here, I get stuck. This is where the rest pause comes in, and I wait for about 10 to 15 seconds before I go again. And then right here, I think I only nail about maybe 2 reps. And as you can see, I just rack it up. So that was a good lead off exercise. And then we move on to this one. This one is the Watson dual handle pull down, but I'm just pulling down one hand at a time. So I'm making sure that I have an imaginary cable that leads from my elbow all the way down to my hip. And if I veer outside of that range of motion, that cable snaps. I don't want that cable to snap. I want my lats to be hit, and I want my elbow to come straight down, getting a very, very strong contraction. And as you can see, that other lat that's rowing, the opposite one of that is straight up in the air. So I'm getting kind of a stretch as well. I didn't need to go heavy on this exercise. I made sure that I started with a manageable load, and I just kept, driving that elbow down into my hip. So, one of the things that you can do is that if you want to do a dual handle pull down with both arms at the same time, you can. I don't think it's as effective as one arm at a time, but again, that's just me. But doing 2 hands at the same time is very much an alternative if you just don't like this variation that I'm doing. So 3 sets here, wrapping it up, and then we go on to the nitty gritty because I have to get at least one free weight exercise inside of my routine for any day of the week. And with this one, I'm doing dead stop dumbbell rows. The reason I like this movement so much is that it eliminates the stretch reflex that you get from a one arm row. So basically, you don't have that rebound from the stretch to come assist you. Now, this is a certified power move, in my opinion. And yes, I'm moving my upper body and letting the dumbbell drag me down. I'm still trying to protect my lower back from injury. So, I didn't go really heavy on this. I think I went about 120 pounds, but as you can see, my reps were down in the single digits. This is a very good back builder, guys. Like any type of one arm dumbbell row is going to be a great back builder, but I like this one a lot. And my lats were on fire. My upper back was on fire after I got done doing this exercise. So, in the Winter Arc program, you can expect plenty of rowing because I am a big believer in rowing for a big back. And we're going to do it for a multitude of reps. But as you can see today, just about 7 to 8 really got the job done. And with no stretch reflex, you could definitely consider this a power move. All right. Moving on to the next one is my old standby, a favorite of mine. This is the chest supported rope, this time on an Atlantis machine, using that neutral grip and then using outside of that neutral grip on my next set. This was supersetted with close grip pull downs, and the reason for it is that I just wanted to get more exercises in a minimum amount of time. So I just wanted to maximize what I was doing that morning, which worked out pretty well. You're probably wondering why I have so many rows and then a couple of sets of pull downs. And the reason for that is just I think that rows, especially when you're trying to build a back, need to be at the center point of your training. Again, I am a fan of plenty of rows, and 3 or usually 4 rows are inside of my training program, along with a couple of different pull down variations. But again, that's not for everybody, but it will be in the Winter Arc program because I believe if you want a big back, you gotta row. You gotta row. You gotta row. You don't have to row for a high multitude of sets, but you got to put in a little bit of sweat equity. And also, don't be afraid of a little bit of body English in your pull downs. Jay Cutler has always been a fan of a little bit of body English in his pull downs, so I've kind of adopted that, and I've gotten great results from doing that. All right, moving on. We're going to go over to the Watson seated DY variation. Well, I shouldn't say variation. It's literally basically the exact same machine that Herman Strength has, but selectorized and a little bit heavier. So, and as you can see, the seat is angled, which is something that the DY row that Hammer Strength made never did. So that's a plus. So here is a part one of a superset, and then this is part two. I've been wanting to do this exercise for a few months, and it did not disappoint. Really made sure I stretched out my upper back and pulled back as hard as I can to fill that back up with some blood. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't superset the DY row with a lower lat row. At this particular workout, I just didn't feel it was necessary to have to do that. I just wanted to sit down, row, and round it up so I could get moving and get the day started. But please keep in mind, generally, if I had the time, this would have been followed by a straight set. This would have been done with straight sets, and it would have been followed by straight sets on like seated one arm cable row or a hammer row or something like that. But I opted for these, what I call the upper back the upper back mashers. And my feet were up too wide on this one. I think, believe I lowered my feet the subsequent sets, but in any event, this was a good way to round out everything, and I was glad I was able to do that. But if you have the equipment, always experiment. Always experiment with, sets, reps, nutrition, all of that. No one size fits all, just like there's no one size fits all training program.
Told you we were gonna roll our ass off today, and we did a real good job. Lots of work done in a short amount of time. That last superset beat the shit out of me, so I'm a little bit winded, but gotta recover because we got a full day ahead of us, and we got chest and shoulders. So gonna do that the next training day, and that's gonna be fun, and we'll be sure to put that out. But in any event, again, when you're thinking of winter, think of power movements, think of calorie intake. Now, if you need to get lean, that's a totally different story. But this program can still work if you just adjust your diet to getting lean. So just focus on the performance, and everything else will come. So with that being said, I'm gonna pack up, go home, and get the day started. But keep liking, keep subscribing. Love the feedback I'm getting from you guys, so please continue to leave it, and I'll continue to pump it out. Until next time, Larry out.